Arena, the first installment in the Elder Scrolls series that catapulted a massive universe rich with lore and many stories to tell. However, many of these older games are difficult for younger and newer players to experience, especially if your first game in the series was Skyrim, like it was for me. It took me 2 years to finally get into Morrowind for Akatosh's sake. Because of this, you are likely unfamiliar with the story of Arena, but fear not, for I have done my research and will tell you the tale of Arena. First, the game hits us with some exposition that explains the world and the events leading to the start of the game. For centuries, different factions battled in petty wars and border conflicts, until the Second Era of 896. Tiber Septim crushed all those who opposed him and took control, proclaiming himself as emperor. Still, the bitter years of war had its effect on the populace. The name Tamriel, Elvish for Dawn's Beauty, seldom fell from anguished lips and was soon forgotten. In a place where life and death were different sides of the same coin tossed every day, the people of the known world began calling the land of their sorrow the Arena. Now, 492 years after Tiber Septim took control and kept the peace, the land of Arena has a new threat. The Emperor, Uriel Septim VII, celebrates his 43rd birthday, but jealous hearts desire the throne and plot his downfall. It is said that hope flies on death's wing. Prepare then, for as the Elder Scrolls foretold, it will be here that your adventure begins. Uriel Septim VII, Emperor of Tamriel, stands with Talon, leader of the Imperial Guards. They have been summoned by Jagar Tharn, Imperial Battle Mage of the Empire, on rumors of treachery. The Emperor is betrayed and transported to a dimension of Tharn's choosing. After months of preparation, Jagar Tharn takes the throne. Rhea Silmain, once Tharn's apprentice, is captured before she can warn the Elder Council of the Imperial Battle Mage's treachery. Manipulating the essence of magic, Tharn prepares to take the true Emperor's place as ruler of the known land. The Imperial Wizard wastes no time in gathering his servants and turning them into twisted counterparts of the Emperor's Guard. The player character, who will one day become the Eternal Champion, wakes in a dungeon cell and is greeted by the incorporeal form of Rhea Silmain, who had been executed by Jagar Tharn. Rhea Silmain explains that Jagar Tharn has taken the form of the Emperor and has thrown you in a cell, believing you are no longer a threat. So now, you are the only one who can carry the fight to save the Empire. Rhea Silmain tasks the Eternal Champion with finding a shift gate that she placed inside the dungeon, which will transport the character to another nation in Tamriel. Rhea says that she will contact you again in a dream, and leaves a key by your cell for your escape. It is at this point that the game officially begins. After escaping and wandering around aimlessly, the Eternal Champion will eventually go to sleep, and will be greeted once more by Rhea Silmain in a dream, and will explain that the Emperor was banished into another dimension by Jagar Tharn, using a powerful artifact called the Staff of Chaos, the same staff that killed Rhea Silmain. She goes on to explain that the Staff of Chaos is nigh indestructible, and so instead of destroying it, Jagar Tharn split the staff in 8 perfect pieces and scattered them across Tamriel, the first piece being located in a place called Fang Lair. Why Jagar Tharn didn't keep the immensely powerful staff for his personal use, or at least dump the pieces in the ocean, is beyond me, but we need to have a story, I guess. Rhea Silmain will tell you that she has no idea where to find the Fang Lair, but the Eternal Champion will find out it is in the province of Hammerfell, and will be pointed in the direction of Queen Blubamka. It's whatever. The ruler of Rihad, one of the cities in Hammerfell. Queen Bluebomka knows the location of the Fang Lair, but will first ask the Eternal Champion to return a piece of parchment stolen from her by a goblin war chief named Golthog the Dark. This parchment holds writings from the Elder Scrolls that also speak of the Fang Lair. After returning the piece of parchment and getting the location of the Fang Lair, the Eternal Champion will make their way to the specified location, and after traversing the stupidly complicated dungeon, defeating enemies, solving a pointless riddle, you will get your hands on the first piece of the Staff of Chaos. However, the champion will be ambushed by a vision of Jagar Tharn, and proceeds to taunt the champion with death and torture, and afterwards summons a minion to destroy you, which you will eventually defeat. Now, this structure of the quest to find the first piece of the Staff of Chaos is the same with pretty much every other main quest in Arena. A dead woman violates your dream, you find out where a location is that holds a piece of the Staff of Chaos, usually doing a fetch quest for the person that holds the information, go to the dungeon, retrieve it, rinse and repeat. Originally, in my script, I was going to quickly go over each of the quests to get the other pieces of the Staff of Chaos, but looking back, they're all really boring and quite repetitive, so I'm going to skip to after you collect all the pieces. Since I still did my research and wrote summaries of these quests, you can look in the description down below where I copied and pasted them if you are curious. So, after 10 years of finding the pieces, the Eternal Champion collects the final piece from the volcano of Dagoth-Ur in Morrowind. When leaving Dagoth-Ur, Jagar Tharn will ambush the champion as he had done when each of the other pieces were collected. However, when Jagar Tharn ambushes the champion this time, he will explain that the reforged Staff of Chaos is drained of all its magic, and is nothing more than a walking stick, and will proceed to taunt the Eternal Champion into facing him at the Imperial Palace. It is now time for the individual who will one day become the Eternal Champion to face Jagar Tharn at the Imperial Palace, located in the Imperial City. The palace is likely referring to the White Gold Tower. Interestingly enough, the Eternal Champion is able to walk right into the palace armed to the teeth and ready for a fight. However, there is cut dialogue where Rhea Silmaine will shroud the champion so he or she can enter the palace without notice. And this will be the largest battle the Eternal Champion will face, as the Imperial Palace is crawling with minions, including vampires and liches. But after the Eternal Champion defeats many minions and comes face to face with Jagar Tharn, the champion will realize that he can't be killed but only incapacitated. The only way for Jagar to be defeated is to take a jewel that Jagar guards called the Jewel of Fire, and touch the jewel with the Staff of Chaos. Doing so will eviscerate the corporeal form of Jagar Tharn, destroying him at last and ending his long rule. And the real Emperor will be freed at last from his imprisonment. Uriel Septim will rise and commend you on your efforts, and will give you the title of Eternal Champion. And that is the end of the story of Arena. Well, kinda. One thing I neglected to mention is that when Uriel Septim was imprisoned by the Staff of Chaos, he was also imprisoned with his general of the Imperial Guard named Talon Warhaft, who looks weirdly ugly, and when you free the Emperor, Talon will also commend you on your efforts as well. The interesting thing about this is that in the later versions of Arena, Talon does not seem to exist at all in the game. This becomes further enticing because in certain screenshots of the game from Bethesda, it shows that the player's name is Talon Warhaft. Now, this means three things. Either the Eternal Champion is Talon Warhaft, the Imperial General, the player is the son of Talon Warhaft and simply has the same name, or this is a bullshit theory and it's all false. It's difficult to determine, but it's intriguing nonetheless. So, now that I have told you the story, should you play Arena and experience the game for yourself? Well, let me put it to you this way. It's free on Steam, so I played it, and died instantly to a rat. Instead of reloading a previous save, the game booted me back to the fucking character creation, so I made it my mission to make a new character to kill that fucking rat. I looked up how to attack because I thought it was just the left mouse button like every other game that has existed since I came out of the womb, but I found out that you had to hold the right mouse button and swing your mouse around like I'm shoving my hand in a cheese grater just to feel something. Does that answer your question? No? Okay. And that's all I wrote, a video where I explained the story of Arena, a game that many people have not or simply cannot play. I hope you enjoyed this rather rough video. It isn't of the quality like some others that explain this story, but I like to think that I added a little more detail and speculation in my video. With that being said, be sure to like the like button, like the subscribe button, and like the bell notification down below to be updated on future videos. And I will see you whenever the fuck I decide to upload again. House Telvanni be with you.
Please, O hero of Skyrim, I shall be ever so grateful.